would you do that, sorry?
Turn it to like you're going to start it.
Yeah.
Without starting the engine, you shimmer, and then you hit your scissor, you're down.
Yeah.
Start it and come down.
Okay. Yeah.
Again, when you start it, it's not a deal, but
Yeah.
just like for the engine, you don't want to hear the engine.
Yeah.
You can come down from that. You've got to start it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We'll find a way.
You know how to use it?
Not particularly, but
I'm just there taking photos, get my attention clear.
yeah. No, but thank you.
Learning experience will be fine.
You should be able to start, like, turn the emergency stop out, yeah, is it out? The emergency stop button?
This one, yeah, it's out.
Yeah, the red button, you should turn it, should pop out, yeah?
Yeah, it's popped out.
Yeah. And then if you hit your scissor button, right?
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, hit that, and then pull the lever, it should go down without starting the engine.
Yeah. Thank you.
But you know how to start the engine?
No, I don't have I've never used one of these things before, but yeah.
Arrow, picture of an arrow goes, so that starts the engine. Yeah. But you can only start it with the emergency stop out. It's actually simple when you've done it a few times.
Yeah.
But it sounds technical.
Yeah. No worries.
You get started, yell out, get my attention, yeah?
Yeah.
There's nobody else around.
What was your name? Sorry, mate.
Drazen.
Drazen. Draj. Easy.
I can lower you from here too.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. Yeah. No, we're right. We're right. Let's do this, mate. Good luck.
Just one set. That's moving.
Under Friday night lights, and with summer having just left us, it's a huge, huge night at the start of autumn for both the Oakleigh Cannons and the hosts, Dandenong City, who both want to continue their good early season form with a result here tonight. Oakleigh, of course, was sitting pretty at half-time last week against Altona before an injury curtailed that game short, and we're thankful now that Aaron O'Driscoll appears to be okay from the Magic. We send our best wishes to him. Dandenong City with 2 wins in a row out of their first 3 games after an opening day defeat to Avondale. As we get set to get this one underway. And to the lineups then. It's 2 changes for Dandenong City, who take out Will Bauer and George Lambadarides. In come Kurt Kuaku and Tim Atharinos. We are expecting in goal number 1 is John Hall. A back 4 of number 3, Jacob Alexander. Number 18 is Tom Giannakopoulos. Number 5 is Jack Webster. And number 20 is Michael Martinovic. A midfield 3, perhaps a double pivot of number 21, Danny Kim. Number 6, Kurt Kuaku, with Timothy Atharinos, number 22, playing as the 10. And a front 3 of Brady Quinn, number 11. Number 9, Kenny Athieu. And number 13 is Valley Chesnick. And for Oakleigh, they will start this game as they started the one last week. It's an unchanged team from that game that perhaps never was. In goal will be number 1, Nick Feely. A back 4, number 3, Connor Hampson. Number 4, Brodie Boyce. Number 6, Jacob Eliopoulos. And number 23, Emlyn Wellsmore. A midfield 3 ahead of them of Oliver Kubalay. Number 19. Number 8 is Cam McGilp. And number 10, playing as the 10, will be Joe Guest. A front 3 of Minib Adis, number 11. Number 9, Alex Salmon. And number 22 is Stefan Valentini. My name is Oliver Walker-Peel here on the NPL Victoria YouTube channel for what should be an absolute corker of a clash here at Frank Holohan Soccer Complex, the home of Dandenong City. As they look to keep some good early season form rolling. They've had wins over Altona and St Albans in the last 2 weeks after losing what ended up being a thrilling finish. 4-3 game against Avondale. And for Oakleigh, they've had a draw and a win and a game abandoned as they get what is officially their 3rd game of the season underway. Looking to try and get the ball to Minib Adis over towards the left-hand side. He's back on the ball again, Oakleigh's number 11. Sends it in low towards the middle. Looking to help it away there was Webster. Kuaku on his return to the starting lineup sends the ball out of play. A note for any Oakleigh fans tuning in and potentially any Adelaide United fans who may have found this stream. Former Red Asad Kasubovic makes a senior official matchday squad for the first time on the bench tonight after an injury kept him out of the opening couple of weekends of the season. It's good to see him back involved with a senior team, as it's skewed high from John Hall. Heading in towards the middle, Ada's trying to make it work. It's going to be helped away by Martinovic. Played up towards Chesnick, who put it up towards halfway, and Kenny Athieu off the back of a brace last weekend. Athieu in again. It looked like he was hauled back. Play will go on. Looking to make a run forward was Will Bauer. Potentially a late change to the lineup, perhaps. In fact, no, it's just me being misorganised. So Bauer instead of Atherinos. So we'll go through that lineup again, and we'll have another go at it. But it's Bauer who was always slated to start. The corner's whipped in towards the front post. Not fully dealt with, as Valentini will look to bring it away. Referee Ross Clark seeing a foul in there. So that will make it only the one change then, rather than the two that I initially advertised. With Kawaku coming in for George Lambadaridis, who is out of the squad tonight entirely. As it's worked down the line, looking to make the run there is Joe Guest. It was cut out by Alexander, who looked to clip it forward. Martinovic. Back now with Webster. As Dandenong City happy to keep it. Clip long from Webster towards Athieu. Heliopolis getting a foot in. Hampson pushed over as he went to play. Set down the line for Guest. Kawaku cutting through out. His team, Dandenong City, looking for a first league win over Oakleigh in the club's history. They'd only played against each other in one season prior to the start of the NPL era in 1982, a season which South Oakleigh, as they were then, did a league double over Chelsea, as Dandenong City were known then, as Oakleigh have a chance to try and get another win over tonight's host, and in attempting to do that, well, they will have a set piece from which they can try and profit. In terms of the NPL era, it's 5 wins for Oakleigh, with 1 draw. As it's sent in towards the middle, headed away by Alexander. Over towards Hampson. We clip down the line. Sent high into the air from Webster. Guest makes the run down the Oakleigh right. Kawaku close to him. And Dandenong City's number 6 doing very well to help win the ball back for his team. A few. Chesnick came short, but instead the ball going to Martinovic, who looked to lift it over the top. It's not a bad idea to try and release Will Bauer, who prodded it goalward and in. Will Bauer set free with a wonderful ball over the top, and he duly obliged, tucking it home to put Dandenong City in front. And in their search for a first league win over Oakleigh in their history, tonight's hosts getting off to the perfect start. Perfect ball over the top. Will Bauer making the run in behind and tucking it home for his second league goal of the season. His first came against Altona. He's got one tonight. And the Dandenong City fans in attendance have got something to cheer about early. And the Cannons now immediately on the back foot. Adis, one way, then the other. Beautifully done by the Oakleigh winger. In towards the back post and off the bar. Almost the instant response. As the flag eventually goes up. The ball had gone behind for a corner. It was Stefan Valentini getting ahead to the ball and almost drawing the Cannons level. What a frantic start to this game. Corner sent in low. Couldn't clear the first man. Cleared away only as far as Wellsmore. Starting the press high. McGilp going over. Brady Quinn protesting his innocence. And Jacob Eliopoulos taking exception to Dandenong City's goal scorer Will Bauer, trying to get a distance between the number 23 and the ball. Salmon. Over towards Hampson. McGilp. Adis taking over. Hampson trying to lift one in towards the back post. Hall claiming. As Dandenong City look to come the other way. The ball at the feet of Brady Quinn, who moves in field and switches the play for Chesnick, who controls masterfully. Martinovic on the overlap. Chesnick's ball forward rather, blocked by Adis. As Valentini and Wellsmore look to combine. Bit of space for Kubele, look to slide it forward, but pass forward didn't quite work as well as intended. Koraku. Eliopoulos letting it bounce. Forward go Oakleigh. Down the inside right channel, Valentini. Salmon was there in the middle, but the ball in overcooked. Looks like I guessed. Put away by Webster. Adus. His run blocked off by Jack Webster. A couple affiliated with the Cannons wanting a free kick and not getting one. Adus, whose senior Victorian footballing journey started last season with the Bentley Greens. Joined there mid-season, but now with the Oakleigh Cannons as Athew looks to try and get to the ball. Back pass on to hit Athew in. And a good save by Nick Feely, who was sold short there by Brodie Boyce. And there's no player within the Dandenong City ranks who they'd want the ball at the feet of more in that situation, but Kenny Athew unable to capitalise. And the hosts have to settle for a corner. And given how good Kenny Athew has been in situations like those over the years, I'm sure he, like many others, would have expected the net to bulge, but it was a great save in a time of need there from Nick Feely. As the resulting corners whips in, not yet fully dealt with. Quinn at the edge of the area, hoping the ball would fall to him. It didn't quite. He then did well to slide in. The ball's been played out of play. Bit of a scuffle right next to the assistant referee. Referee is Ross Clark. And there was a couple of calls from the sidelines taking exception to not awarding anything for Dandenong City there, but always got to trust the officials as McGilp sends it away up towards Sam, and that was a lovely touch, but Kawaku did well to take it away from him. High and away by Hall. Martinovic with Adus in close attendance. Martinovic thought he was clipped. The referee tended to agree. Just to complete the officiating team, the referee Ross Clark, assisted by Jordan English and Leo Cernogosevic, and the fourth official is Lucas Mattia. Power fouled by Eliopoulos as McGilp then went over after the whistle. Clipping it over the top was Jack Webster, looking to get the ball to Kenny Athew. A little too much on the ball, saw it carry through to Nick Feely, who then looked for the ball over the top of his own to try and release Alex Salmon, but in the end, it ended up going goalkeeper to goalkeeper with John Hall reacting smartly. Hopeful ball there from Webster. Boyce was a bit tentative in dealing with it, but in the end, won his side a goal kick, playing it off the lower leg of Brady Quinn, who's now in his second full season with Dandenong City. Joined the club midway through 2022 and was so prevalent last season with 25 league appearances. Managed 5 goals in what was then known as NPL2 as Oakleigh have the ball back. One back there from Kim. Now with Kuaku. Keniathiu looking to try and work it down the Dandenong City right for Valley Chesnick. But it'll be brought back for a free kick for Dandenong City. Webster, assertive call from Nick Feely, who immediately looks straight over towards the Oakleigh left for Minibadis, but able to win the header instead. Martinovic. McGilp. Fouled by Athieu. Free kick taken quickly, looking for Salmon. Across to deal with that, Giannakopoulos, who's in the midst of his first season with Dandenong City after coming across from the Adelaide Comets in South Australia. Free kick for Dandenong City. Webster looking again to try and get one over the top of the Oakleigh back line. Chesnick, one way then the other. Fancy feet, then tried to roll it in deftly for Will Bauer. Sent out of play. There's been a couple of nervy moments for the Oakleigh back line, and Dandenong City have found a fair bit of joy in getting the ball over the top of the Oakleigh back four, including in the build-up to the only goal of the game so far. Kubalay looking to try ball over the top of his own. Across to cover. It's Giannakopoulos as Valentini looked to get there. Kubalay towards Adis. Salmon turning away from Dandenong City pressure. They look to try and work it down the right-hand side. A few muted shouts for handball fall on deaf ears. Valentini prodded across for McGilp. Hampson low in towards the middle. Turned away by Danny Kim. In a bit of space now, Joe Guest. Finding Alex Salmon. Across for Joe Guest. And now with Stefan Valentini. Going to the byline, cutting it back. There's Salmon. There's the equaliser. And that is all it takes. Great work down the Oakleigh right from Valentini to cut the ball back. And Alex Salmon only needs an inch to make you pay. And if you give him an inch, he'll take a yard. That's exactly what he did there. And he's drawn the cannons level. John Hall has scarcely been tested throughout the start of this game, right up until that moment. And Alex Salmon, with his first sight of goal this evening, finds the back of the net to make it one apiece. Right, taken quickly. Quinn to cross one in over the head of Bauer. Chesnick may well be able to try and rescue this attack. Got it back to Martinovic. Kim, blocked by the groin of McGilp, who is down on the ground and in a fair bit of pain. And particularly after having a career so far cruelled by injury, seeing Cam McGilp down is never a welcome sight. It is a sight that we've unfortunately become accustomed to, given what has been a rotten run with injuries for the former Dandenong Thunder and Swindon Town midfielder. He's on the verge of a milestone as well in this competition, coming up towards 50 NPL Men's Victoria appearances. Tonight is number 48. And you never like to see any player injured, and it's always a great sight when a player who looks to be in a bit of pain then gets back to their feet, and that's exactly what Cam McGilp has done here. Long by Feely towards Valentini. Good bit of body work there from Salmon, who then got off on his bike looking to receive from Guest. It's helped out of play for the Cannons throw. Salmon looks to roll his marker, but the ball finding its way through to John Hall. Mentioned earlier on Asad Kasumovic, formerly of Adelaide United. John Hall, likewise, made his A-League debut against the Newcastle Jets in a 7-0 win, if you don't mind. Kawaku, Guest able to win it, as McGilp was impeded. Kim wearing the number 17. Switch between 17 and 21. Danny Kim as Kubalay picks up the ball, gives it away to Danny Kim. Hampson for Alex Salmon, who's looking to notch a brace. Down smartly to save. John Hall. Down to his left, and it had to be quickly done because when you've got someone like Alex Salmon bearing down on goal, there's a large chance as a goalkeeper you're picking the ball up out the back of the net shortly after, but not on that occasion due to that intervention from the former Adelaide United goalkeeper. Matthew, very well played from the former Melbourne Victory man, looking for the 1-2. Matthew will get there. Played back for Danny Kim, over for Quinn, who sent it into the middle. Headed away by Hampson. Quinn doing well to get a foot in there. Webster looking for a ball over the top. Dealt with there by Brodie Boyce, the Queenslander, who had a very impressive first season in Victorian football, played each of Oakleigh's 27 games in the league last year. He certainly didn't look out of place coming across from Queensland. Alexander. Boyce again tasked with sending the ball away. Ball eventually out of play. Last off Danny Kim for an Oakleigh throw. Brodie Boyce, one of only two players to play all 27 games for Oakleigh last term, with fellow defender Connor Hampson being the other. Quinn looking again to try and get Bauer in behind. Bauer will get there, and was unable to get the conviction on that one, as he did for his goal. Forward from Feely. Salmon interested, but once more, goalkeeper to goalkeeper. Ross Clark taking his time before eventually awarding a free kick to Dandenong City. From Webster towards Athieu. Hampson getting ahead to it, helping it back to his goalkeeper. Valentini looks to get himself away. Stefan Valentini straight at the goalkeeper. Did well to break clear of Jack Webster there, but couldn't then provide the finish. That ball forward from Webster was cut out by Guess, who then sent it in. Header over the top there from Salmon. Who last season brought up goal number 50 in this competition. Tonight's tally was number 58 in his 90th game in this league. One of its most prolific scorers, particularly in his time with Green Gully. Given away cheaply from Oakleigh. Martinovic, Athieu first time. Moved forward by Wellsmore. We've got the ball back from Valentini. Play allowed to go on. Kuaku sliding in to help it out of play for an Oakleigh throw. Out of play off Joe Guest. Talking about modern day Victorian top flight stars as we did with Alex Salmon a moment ago. Joe Guest can certainly put himself in that category. Made his 100th NPL Men's Victoria appearance in the round 1 win over Manningham. Athieu pulled back. Ross Clark potentially waiting to see if any advantage could be taken there for tonight's hosts, but then decided there wasn't any. Bauer looking to break free of McGill, who made that a tough task. Guest then got to the ball ahead of him and looked like he was brought down. The referee didn't see enough in it for a foul. Kubalay gave it away. Chesnick. Now Kim with the former Hull City youngster in Webster. Martinovic trying to keep it in play. Couldn't quite do so. Played from Athieu to steal in ahead of McGill. Lovely turn by Kenny Athieu. Had it prodded away from him. Bauer knew as soon as he played that ball that it wasn't quite what he had hoped to achieve, playing it behind Valley Chesnick. Martinovic, Kuaku, back with Webster. Kim forwards. That ball out of play, not quite off Eliopoulos as Will Bauer had thought. Jordan English in a perfect position to see which way to award the throw. Quinn down the line. Athieu, nutmegs one. Ball played into towards Chesnick, who couldn't quite get there ahead of Boyce. Dandenong City almost winning it back in a high area for them. Right. Giannakopoulos originally, but the follow-up distribution of the ball wasn't quite what his team were hoping for, and certainly wouldn't have been what he was hoping for. With Valentini looking for Salmon, can only find Kawaku. McGill picking up his position on the Oakleigh right. Kubalay received it back off Salmon. All the way back with John Hall. And now Webster making appearance number 298 in the NPL Men's Victoria era. All being well, he will bring up appearance number 300 in the Dandenong Derby in a couple of weeks' time, which is the next time that Dandenong City play here. Chesnick, a few for Kim. Lovely football this from Dandenong City. Chesnick looking to fire it across for Athieu, but was cut out en route. Adis now the other way. And that's out of play. Last off the Oakleigh number 11 for throw to Dandenong City. That Dandenong derby will take place on the 15th of March at 7:45. Before that, it'll be a game against the Melbourne Knights in Sunshine next Sunday for tonight's hosts. Chesnick gave it away. Adis, McGill forward for Guest. Over, but certainly no foul in that one. Kawaku. Now Valley Chesnick in a bit of space. Quinn to his left, Athieu to his right. Chesnick going alone for now. Valley Chesnick. It was a good run, but the shot, it's fair to say, left a little to be desired. High and wide. The former Port Melbourne man unable to get that one on target. It was a 4-goal game for Valley Chesnick last season, if you remember, against Dandenong City's near neighbours, the Dandenong Thunder, in what was a sparkling display. He's shown glimpses of that in his first few games with Dandenong City as Quinn commits a foul, and here will be the first player into Ross Clark's notebook. Emlyn Wellsmore was the player brought down. Emlyn Wellsmore still down. While there is a slight break in play, we'll go around the grounds in the NPL Men's Victoria competition. And there's only one other game going on concurrently at the moment. It's at half-time at Olympic Village, where Heidelberg are 2-0 up against a 10-man Green Gully. Later on tonight, Moreland City will take on Avondale in a game that's set to kick off in a few minutes' time. A 3-game slate in the NPL. I was going to say NPL 2. VPL 1 as it's now known. Brunswick City and Melbourne City, Bentley and Western United, Preston and Northcote, all set to kick off at 8:30. And here it's one apiece, with goals to first Will Bauer and then Alex Salmon squaring the ledger. Free kick here for the Cannons. Webster helps it forward for Bauer. Ball not disappearing out of play. Boyce, first time ball forwards. Hampson looking for the switch towards both Guest and Valentini. Valentini for Guest. Back with Stefan Valentini in towards Salmon again. Webster unable to get it fully clear as it's dinked in towards Adus. Dandenong City eventually get it away. A few nervy moments there for Nick Tolios' charges. Matthew held back. And the Dandenong City frontman winning the free kick for his team. Mentioned earlier about Dandenong City's poor recent record against the Oakleigh Cannons, with 5 losses in 6 in this competition. One of those was also Dandenong City's heaviest ever defeat, which was a 6-1 loss at Jack Edwards back in 2021. As McGilp was fouled. Coppolas sending it out of play. As we move towards the break, we'll get 3 minutes by the looks of things at the end of this first half. Adus, great first touch in field, gets into the penalty area. Adus had it eventually taken away from him by Giannakopoulos, but the first couple of touches there were fleet of foot. Boyce. Up into the air. Kim helping it on further. Bauer now giving chase, but Boyce there ahead of him. Ball out of play, and we'll now move into the first of those 3 added minutes. Sent high from Webster, the ball staying in play. Hampson winning his header towards Guest. Now with Minibadis again, who looks to burn off Martinovic. Has done that, sent in low towards Salmon, who looked to keep it alive. Broke kindly for Guest. Salmon once more, looking to dink it in. Headed clear by Webster. Play goes on. To play for an Oakleigh throw. Stopping play there, Ross Clark. And we'll have a word here with Jack Webster. It's fair to say that Nick Tolios is rather bemused at the lack of a free kick there. McGilp, now with Hampson, looks to arc one in towards the back post. There's still a chance, it's cleared off the line from Webster. Driven low from Salmon, who couldn't believe that it was helped away. Awesome work from Webster to keep this game at 1-1. Sliding in McGilp. Martinovic out of play from the former Thunder man. Throw taken quickly from Chesnick towards Athieu, out of play from Eliopoulos. Thrown in towards the middle. Kubalay taken away from him by Kouakou. And it'll be an Oakleigh free kick as the Cannons were quick to restart play. Flicked on from Giannakopoulos. Webster towards Chesnick, who gave it away cheaply. Kubalay. There's still time for Oakleigh to change the trajectory of both sides' half-time team talks. Valentini down the Oakleigh right has won his side a corner off Jack Webster. Perhaps a last chance in this first half for either side to head in front. Corner whipped in. And out of play from Athieu, and Joe Guest will get another opportunity. In again by Guest. Headed away only as far as Kubalay, who sent it in towards the middle. Not yet fully dealt with. McGilp, who looked to catch John Hall napping, but he was unable to do so. And that'll be that for the first half action here at Frank Holohan Soccer Complex. A game that got out of the gates to a flyer. A quick goal for Will Bauer, who was sent through by Michael Martinovic. A wonderful ball over the top. But Oakleigh were rather quick to respond. Their talisman, their marksman, Alex Salmon, drawing the Cannons level. And that is where the game remains for now, at least. At half-time here at Frank Holohan, it is Dandenong City 1, Oakleigh 1. We'll take a short break here from the home of Dandenong City. We'll be back in about a quarter of an hour, so we'll be back. And then stick with us.
okay.
manually. So
It's all good. I just turned it off. Yeah.
so hopefully they couldn't. Hopefully it hasn't been on the whole time. But,
I hope
yeah,
not.
I've got no way
That
of doing
one,
it.
that one's just trying to get audio for that. Rough. I was looking at the levels. It would when the birds were going, when the kookaburras were going off.
Yeah.
I could see levels peak.
Yeah.
But throughout the whole game, unless the kids were here fucking around at the medic, there was like no levels moving, and I've got it like maxed out.
Yeah,
so it's a bit.
we really, what we should have done, we should have been over on the hill
Yeah.
because it's still high. We wouldn't have had any problems.
And you wouldn't have a bunch of stuff obstructing the corner kick.
Yeah, and we would have obviously been able to get the crowd noise. So maybe we go back next time we're here and try that.
Yeah.
And it's also safer too.
Yeah, 'cause this is very wobbly, so the vision's like very like swaying. The feedback we can give them.
Yeah. But like I say, at least we can do it.
Yeah. So what's done is done. Let me just check this down. Sorry. Very close.
That was easy enough.
Yeah.
I still think I'm going to have trouble getting down in any case, but that's Leighton's problem.
Yeah. Car's just not running to the camera.
It is a little bit, mate.
Yeah.
It's not the warmest.
I'm going to go down again quickly. Do you need to go back there?
No, I don't. I'll lower it. Can I lower it for you? I just need to work out how I'm going to get down there. That's the problem.
I'll be down. It's all good now.
Yeah, that's what my we'll see that. Everything all good?
I'll just double checking it. Is there power going?
Sorry?
There's power going. Maybe what you power from it, there's no power in there. It's a bit straight.
Hopefully it's all good anyway. It's not our problem.
Yeah, that's true.
Not until we're back here anyway.
Yeah, literally.
Are we
Hopefully it's a bit
gonna
more
go
fresh
back?
Go back there.
Go back up?
Yeah. I'll just quickly give a call in case we need to change anything, and I'll go back there.
Yeah, easy. Yeah, I'm alright. I'll be fine. I should be fine. Top. Here we go. We're veterans at this. Pull that. Push it. The other one. Yeah. All good.
Just want to message you left the mic so you can hear you swearing.
Do I? I have them off here. Yeah, they're all off here.
I just got a message saying you can hear you swearing. That was me over here.
Oh, it might have been before. Yeah, I turned it off as soon as I got back on. Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about that.
I was going to say.
But yeah, I've got the mics off.
I saw you come up and I was like, we'll sort that first, but because I've got no way of turning that headset off. They say turn the mics off, but I have no way of turning mine off. It's off now.
It should be. It's all off now. So
Yeah, I was going to say, I wanted to tell you straight away.
Yeah, I should have thought. I thought they mute this. I keep forgetting they don't mute the stream.
I was half hoping you were going to. Yeah,
I do it before I
got the
move.
message, yeah.
But I was like, I'll just do this real quick. And
I didn't think he swore once.
maybe they have us to hurt something. I swear I have this mute.
I think he did after we turned it off. But.
Because I can't. I've got all the mics and stuff off. Unless I'm hearing something. Oh, God.
And welcome back to Frank Holohan Soccer Complex for this round 4 NPL Men's Victoria clash between Dandenong City and the Oakleigh Cannons. Apologies to any of you out there who could hear a demonstration of us how to operate the scissor lift on location here at Frank Holohan. I suppose we're learning on the job as we go here as part of the NPL Victoria live stream. And we've managed now, so I suppose you can learn something new every day. And something that we learnt a long time ago that is now just commonplace is Alex Salmon scoring goals, and he did so in the first half to draw his team level after a wonderfully constructed goal by Dandenong City. Not in the sense that there was 20 passes in the lead up to a goal, but all it took was Michael Martinovic to be on the same page as Will Bauer, and that was that. A long ball over the top, and the run was perfectly timed. The finish was a clinical one, and that was that. The lead didn't last too long before Alex Salmon pegged Dandenong City back. The first half that started off to a flyer and maybe dipped down a little bit in terms of craziness. That's what we had in the first 45. What are we going to get in the second 45? If it's anything like the start to the first, it's going to be an absolute barnstormer. A reminder that Dandenong City are looking for a first ever league win over Oakleigh. A stretch that goes all the way back to their first league meeting in 1982 in the 5th tier of Victorian football. Adis, away from Kuaku, received it back off the 1-2. It's Manib Adis through the hands of Hall, who eventually cleaned up his own mess. That would have been a horror start to the second half for Dandenong City, but in the end, John Hall sparing his own blushes there. Forward from Kim. Bauer, who played with a fair bit of buzz in that opening 45, unable to then find his teammate in Brady Quinn. Will Bauer's second season at the Frank Holohan based club, and his second spell working under Nick Tolios, who did so briefly in 2021 when they were both at Bentley. Bauer, reverse ball for Kenny Athew, who prodded it across. He fouled Connor Hampson in the process. Words from Nick Tolios to Tim Atherinos, formerly of Melbourne Victory's NPL side, as it was then. And started life as a Dandenong City footballer quite well with an opening weekend goal in the defeat against Avondale. Not only has he played for the reserve side, he also made an appearance for the senior side in the Australia Cup in a game against Newcastle. Kim for Brady Quinn inside the area. Brady Quinn headed away only as far as Webster. Back with the former Springvale White Eagle. Looking for the switch of play for Danny Kim. Kubalay. His clearance blocked by Kuaku. Athiu. And on by Bauer. As Dandenong City are able to get the ball down and play. Ran away from Brady Quinn, who himself was a former Melbourne Victory youngster. Spent time there in 2017. McGilp, Guest, Alex Salmon. Great first touch to get away from Giannakopoulos. He then got away from Kuaku. Set Connor Hampson away. Ball in towards the middle. Claimed by John Hall as Jack Webster went into the back of his own net. Advantage played by Ross Clark. Chesnick. Webster. As McGilp wins it back for Oakleigh. Inboard for Valentini, who looks to run at Webster. Sent it towards the back post, and backpedaling there was John Hall, who for a split second would have been quite worried that that ball was going to disappear over his head and into the back of the net, but in the end, from a Dandenong City point of view, all's well that ends well. Athiu went over, and eventually a free kick's awarded for Dandenong City. Quinn. Moving in field, looking for the crossfield ball for Valley Chesnick. Giannakopoulos. Quinn in a bit of space. But he's got the wrong side of the Oakleigh defensive line. Brady Quinn quickly warned by Jack Webster that he's on a yellow card and not to try anything that could earn him another one. Haydas going over. Quickly given on that occasion by Ross Clark, that free kick. Taken quickly by Hampson. Played over the top for Guest. Dandenong City appealing for offsides. And the flag was raised, but only to award a goal kick. as Chesnick was fouled. Free kick for Hajduk just forward of halfway. Boys headed clear. Hayes. Good work from Giannakopoulos. Kawaku sliding in Valentini. Left a challenge there on Webster. Wellsmore. His pass forward telegraphed by Kawaku. Then looked to combine with Quinn. Wellsmore won it back. Guest. Now with Valentini. Wellsmore on the overlap. Kawaku in again to win it back for his team. Webster through the sand on the Dandenong City left. Strongly in was Bauer once, then twice. Look for the quick feet. Ball stayed in play according to the officials. Players going over left, right and centre. And from left, right and centre, Ross Clark is copping an earful here. Eliopoulos over, Athew over.
Jordan, did you see that off the ball, Jordan? No, I didn't, mate. No, I didn't see it.
And for the second time in this game, Cam McGilp is down on the turf. I don't know if you're able to hear the ground announcements that are made here at Dandenong City. They give goal-by-goal updates, which is absolutely wonderful. And just in case you can't hear it, there's been a goal at Olympic Village that's gone the way of Heidelberg United. They're 3-0 up against Green Gully. Elsewhere in the Victorian top flight, it's 0-0 between Moreland City and Avondale. In VPL 1, there's a 3-0 lead for Western United against Bentley inside the opening half an hour. In fact, that's just been pulled back to 3-1 with a goal mere moments ago. So 3-1 now at Kingston Heath. Both of the other games in VPL 1 are goalless between Brunswick City and Melbourne City's reserves and Preston Lions and Northcote City. McGilp now back to his feet as Oakleigh are, at least for now, reduced from a full complement to 10. That's certainly not down to Cam McGilp's discipline. McGilp now beckoned back on by Ross Clark. Ball had stayed in as Boyce hooked it forward towards Valentini, who has Webster opposed to him. Valentini in towards the middle, headed away by Kim. Only as far as Cam McGilp, who hit it. Down low to save John Hall. Towards Athew. Throw on the way for Dandenong City. Thrown in long by Webster. Heading away there. It's Valentini. Back doing his defensive duties with fellow attackers. Attacking man, he plays Gueston. Salmon further forward as Atthew flicks on. Still not fully dealt with from an Oakleigh point of view. Eventually cleared away from the penalty area. Martinovic forward. Could break for Chesnick. Or Kenny Atthew, who rifled his efforts over the top. Looks as though the Cannons will be introducing some slightly different cavalry. Looks like a double change on the way. And when you look at the two players they're about to bring on, they're two very handy players to have on an NPL Men's Victoria bench, with Kingsley Sinclair and Pierce Waring set to be introduced. Pierce Waring with 13 goals and 3 assists in 20 league appearances last term. He will take the place of Menabadis. And it'll be Emlyn Wellsmore whose night will be ended early, with Kingsley Sinclair, a New Zealand youth international, coming on for him. Going over the substitute in Pierce Waring. Oakleigh set to have a set piece here from their left-hand side. Two in the wall for Hajduk. It's floated in over the head of Waring. Broke kindly for Sinclair, who looked right for McGilp, who played it for Valentini. To play off Martinovic for a throw. Header won by Webster, but only up into the air. Kim able to send it away only as far as Hampson. Guess in a pocket of space as the former Curzon Ashton players combine, headed into the middle. Sent to the middle rather, as it breaks from McGilp. Could be a chance for Alex Salmon, who saw his shot cannon off the post. Eliopoulos towards Hampson. Waring, he looked to hit one from range. It was blocked by his own man in Alex Salmon. Sliding in was Webster. Martinovic there doing his defensive duties, sent in high towards the back post. Valentini lost out in the battle with Webster. It's behind for a goal kick. Webster looking to Try and get the ball in behind for Bauer again, but that one off kilter. Matthew. Kim. Quinn onside. Just outside the area. One way then the other. Wonderfully done through Quinn. Pulled it back, but it's helped away and clear from an Oakleigh point of view. Webster battling with Valentini. Valentini doing well to keep him honest. It's brought back from Ross Clark. A foul from Valentini on Webster. On Alexander, rather. Dandenong City's number 3. Boyce, Quinn in with a challenge. Valentini going over. Off the plate. McGilp. Oakleigh's number 22 labouring. Now back involved to win it back. Alex Salmon. Let's try and send it in early. Hall quick to snuff out any potential danger. Valentini gets in the face of Webster. Sinclair gives it away. Matthew looking to break free of the New Zealander. Kublai looks over the top for Valentini, who'd gone too early. Webster went down. Play going on. Kim. Now Quinn. Pass a bit wayward for Kawaku. Tried to make it work. Couldn't quite. Here goes Pierce Waring. Options left and right. Waring looking for Alex Salmon. So well defended by Webster. Now Will Bauer. This game opening up a little bit. Bauer away from Sinclair. Still Will Bauer. Cutting it back. Matthew in space. Blocked en route. King Kenny finding him in a space inside the penalty area. But it was a wonderful block to make sure he didn't score. The fans behind the goal almost celebrating for a second time in this game. It was great work from Bauer down the left before he found Kenny Matthew, whose shot was goal bound, and it surely would have been 2-1 if not for the Cannons' intervention. On a sent in, unmarked was Giannakopoulos, who was looking for his second goal in Dandenong City blue. He stole the march to the back post and somehow couldn't breach Oakleigh's defences for a second time tonight. He's played in behind. Valentini just offside.
That's shit. That is shit. Webster kept them both. No, Webster was behind them both. He didn't fucking see him. Webster was in front of them both. Jordan, Webster was in front of them. Yeah, he was. You can see it from here.
Chris, that's not true. I'm talking to you now. But honestly, from my angle, it looks like offside. Okay, let's get on with it.
Long ball from Hall. Header won by Boyce. The Oakleigh players thinking that Bauer had handballed that. Kuaku away from McGilp. Playing over towards the right-hand side for Valley Chesnick, whose shot was charged down by Hampson. The former Port Melbourne man picking up the pieces. It's eventually sent high and out of play. LA Chesnick, formerly of South Melbourne in Victorian football. He's also spent time in the Netherlands with Canberra's under-21s. As words exchanged between Valentini and the assistant referee, Jordan English, flicked on by Valentini towards Salmon, who then looked to return the favour. Across to help out Jack Webster. Bauer hit the deck. After being fouled, according to Ross Clark, by Jacob Eliopoulos. Clipped in by the defender in Alexander, but in the end it was the defender at the other end involved for Oakleigh who was fouled. At least the makeshift defender in Cam McGill. Kubalay. Intercepted by Martinovic. Matthew looking to make the running behind. The ball didn't quite get to him. Kubalay looking forward for Valentini. Quickly off his line was John Hall, who collected his teammate Jacob Alexander. Boys looking to shield the ball away from Bauer. Bauer got there anyway. It's Will Bauer, infield. Matthew. Chance for Valley Chesnick perhaps, who initially left it behind, then went back to find it. Good block, ensuring that he didn't make good on the chance. Free kick on the way for Oakleigh. Salmon working with McGilp. Ball breaks for Guest, who whips it in towards Salmon. Could break for Valentini acrobatically. On target, but saved by Hall, who then released Quinn. Brady Quinn up and over halfway. With Sinclair opposed to him. Well to get back on terms there, Kingsley Sinclair. Getting forward now. Alexander. Now Kenny Matthew! Blocked by Eliopoulos and eventually claimed by Feely. As Valentini and Giannakopoulos exchanging words right under the nose of Jordan English, and if you're going to have a disagreement with a player on the opposing side, it's wise not to do it right under the nose of an official. Matthew flicking on. Boyce. Forward from Feely. Broke for Guest. Salmon. Looking to send it back to Oakleigh's number 10, but the ball didn't quite get there. Webster. Hampson winning his header under no duress. Played forward, looking for Joe Guest. Ball had disappeared out of play. Guest. Now with Sinclair. Nice turn by Kubele, who was felled by Kurt Kuwaku, who will go into the book. Seb Hernando on the way for Dandenong City. Was announced as a signing for South Melbourne pre-season, but was cast aside before round one, allowing Dandenong City to swoop in. Ball towards the back post from Guest, heading towards the middle from Hampson. And a handball, I mean a free kick for Oakleigh. And again, Seb Hernando is being told to wait, much like many of his Dandenong City teammates achieved promotion last season from the second tier of Victorian football, but did it wearing a Manningham shirt. Made 26 appearances last year, scoring 5 goals. Is headed back across from Valentini, but no one wearing a white shirt able to get a final telling touch into the back of the net. Ball forward, looking for Salmon. Wouldn't quite run through for him. Power out jumped by Brody Boyce. Kuwaku, Kim. Didn't have much room to work with there. And now it looks as though Seb Hernando will come on, or he would have done had they been given an opportunity to make the change. Dandenong City. It's in board from Alexander towards Athieu. Sinclair having the ball out of play, last off him, and now Dandenong City's number 8 will be introduced in place of Will Bauer, whose goal initially put Dandenong City in front, and outside of taking that chance, he's played pretty well and got himself about. Now, Seb Hernando to take his place. It's thrown in long from Alexander. Kim on his header, but the ball ran out of play. Valentini now with Joe Guest, who goes it alone. Joe Guest looking for the far corner, couldn't find it. The Oakleigh players and Chris Taylor as well, sure that had taken a deflection before disappearing behind. The assistant referee on this near side disagreeing with that. Chesnick. Now with Brady Quinn, who controlled that well initially, but did so from an offside position. Alexander had to be smart. Ball wouldn't sit for Joe Guest. Alex Salmon from the right, blocked by Danny Kim. Matthew winning his header. Brady Quinn. Not much support for him at the moment as he checks to wait for some to arrive. Finds some in Valley Chesnick with a crossfield ball. Might well get through to Brady Quinn. It did, and in the end he couldn't get it back across goal for Matthew. Kurt Kawaku, having just received a yellow card, will come off, as will Valley Chesnick. Two players coming on, Tim Atherinos and Chris Irwin. And Chris Irwin, of course, the former South Melbourne man, has spent the majority of his senior career there. Tim Atherinos, formerly of Melbourne Victory. Looking to try and inspire his team to a victory now that he's on the park. This game still right in the balance. Guest, lovely first time ball. Pierce Waring, across goal and across the face of goal. He couldn't quite find the far corner. Agonisingly close to finding the far corner. And Pierce Waring's evening, which up to that point had been rather quiet, almost sparked right into life. Salmon. Therinos getting in the way. Kim. Now with Hernando. That's a play for a throw for Dandenong City. Matthew. Over towards the left-hand side. Brady Quinn. Moves in field. Hernando electing to shoot. Blocked by Eliopoulos. Back with Sepp Hernando, who looked to try and put his name in the headlines, but could only fire well off target. Guest towards the back post. And Hall able to claim. Header was won by Valentini, who appears to have now swapped wings. Guest. try and orchestrate something, but can only find John Hall. Irwin, he's brought down by his opposite number 10, just back of halfway. And his opposite number 10 in Joe Guest goes into the book.
They're not ready for a change. They're not fucking ready, eh?
Looks like we'll see Kyan Bryant in a moment or so as the ball forward towards Athieu. Ball not out of play, almost went back for Athieu, but away by Eliopoulos, who had to be aware of the potential danger.
Oh, oh, oh.
Guest looking forward for Valentini.
Oh, yeah.
Again through the hands of Hall, but he's able to get back there. Hernando. With Kubalay close in attendance. Lovely work by Seb Hernando, who got by one, then went over. Dandenong City wanting a free kick, won't get it. McGilp, he's brought down rather cynically by Chris Irwin, who after seeing the opposite number 10 from his point of view go into the book, then goes in himself. And that will allow space for the change, which will see Brady Quinn replaced by Kyan Bryant. Queensland-born winger. He made his Queensland NPL debut at the age of 17 back in 2021. It's sent in towards Waring. Alexander cleared it away. Dandenong City thought that they were entitled to a free kick. There was none forthcoming. McGilp. Now with Athieu. He'll try and get away from McGilp. McGilp was able to win it back. Sinclair. Now Kim, he was hauled to the floor. Advantage will be played by the referee. Quinn to open the game up. Martinovic. Bryant down the inside right channel. Back with Michael Martinovic. Bryant once more. Looking to catch the goalkeeper off his line. It was almost outstanding.
Back here, it's back here. Where's he going?
Atherinos shaping a ball into the middle. Not yet cleared, now it is. Alex Salmon judged to have handled the ball. In by Alexander. Feely able to claim. Ball forward cannoned off the Dandenong City veteran in Jack Webster. Heavy first touch from McGill, who kept it in. Going over Sinclair. Helped on by Atherinos. Athu getting it under control very well. Here's Atherinos trying to prod it square for Bryant. The ball didn't get through to the Queenslander. Kim. Header won by McGilp. Sent forward by Kubalay. Looking for Stefan Valentini. Good bit of defending by Martinovic to kill the ball dead out of the sky and then send it out of play. Guest. Bryant fouled. And as we move towards the end of the second 45, it's about time for someone to think about making themselves a hero. And it looks as though at the end of the second 45, someone from either side will have 5 minutes to do it. Hernando getting a foul, and Oakleigh with a free kick of their own, which was taken quickly. Now with Boyce. Sinclair. Brody Boyce. Natural ball for Eliopoulos. Interesting was Hernando, who then fouled Jacob Eliopoulos after the ball had been played. Long from Hall. Flicked on by Valentini. Helped away by Giannakopoulos rather, if I can get my words out. 5 minutes signalled by the fourth official. We're into the first of those now. Here's Bryant. Forward for Athu. Looked to roll his man. Broke for Kyan Bryant. And no nonsense stuff there from Eliopoulos. Throw from Alexander into the mixer. Broke for Kubalay. Blocked by Hernando. Chance maybe here for Oakleigh to break forward. Valentini making the run down the Oakleigh right. Back there to cut it out, Danny Kim. And what a telling intervention it was. Sinclair. Away from Atherinos. Pierce Waring clean bowled by the ball. High ball up towards Kyan Bryant. Now with Salmon. Waring, lovely bit of skill. The ball went out of play. Bryant fouling his man. And Pierce Waring, immediately after being fouled, makes his way up towards the edge of the box. Oakleigh loading up late at the edge of the penalty area to try and steal this one. Joe Guest over the dead ball. To try and orchestrate something that would take all 3 points. Punched away by Hall. McGilt first to the loose ball. He's able to whip it in high, only as far as John Hall, who might be able to spring someone in blue free. Looks right towards Hernando. Giannakopoulos was fouled. There'll be a yellow card in the direction of someone wearing white. There's 3 players over there. There's been a bit of pushing and shoving. So whether it's for the initial foul or for something that went on beyond that, Kubalay motioned over by the referee. Bit of push and shove after the play. It's all getting a bit ugly. Jack Webster giving his 2 cents worth. And now it's turning into a little bit of a rugby scrum. Both of the assistant referees on the pitch. Ross Clark trying to keep it all under control. And all of a sudden, a game that has been played in a relatively well-tempered manner has boiled over right in its final knockings. Still discussions between players and officials. Both of the assistant referees have left their posts on the sidelines for a moment at least to take up some more senior matters in the middle of the pitch. There'll be a yellow card for Salmon. There was 3 yellow cards dished out there. There's Salmon, Kubalay, and by my eyes and reckoning, it was Jacob Eliopoulos to receive the 3rd. Still, talks are ongoing between Webster and Kubalay. And after all of that, it's finally been de-escalated. Assistant referees back on the sideline. The man in the middle appears to be happier with things than what he once was a couple of moments ago, and we'll get back underway as such.
How long extra, Jordan? How long extra?
Still a couple of minutes to play. Webster to float it in towards the middle. Alexander towards Webster rather. As it bobbles around, Bryant couldn't get a toe on it. Salmon giving chase. Irwin beat him to the ball. Bit nervy there from John Hall, who looked for Irwin. Could only find touch. Valentini motioned for the ball quickly. Got the 1-2 off with Guest. That ran out of play. Another Oakleigh throw. And another card. This time going the way of Danny Kim. If it was an enthralling end you were after, we've certainly got it here at Frank Holohan. Guest flicks on. Away in no uncertain terms by Webster. A couple of the Cannons coaches thought about playing the role of ball boy. Sinclair, has he got a long throw in him? Sends it in towards the mixer. Flicked on by Waring. Still not dealt with from a Dandenong City point of view. Turned away by Therinos. Up towards Athieu, who beat Eliopoulos to the ball. Will Bryant get to the loose ball first? He certainly will. Here's Kyan Bryant, the speedster from Queensland, looking to roll it inboard. Was he brought down the edge of the area? Certainly was. right to the edge of the area. Whereabouts was it? It looked just outside. The fans behind the goal were sure it was a penalty. The coaching staff likewise. And from a Dandenong City point of view, it appears that it's the wrong side of the line for them. It was a definite foul. The question was, where did that foul take place? And according to Ross Clark, it was just outside the penalty area. What a big call. Webster fancies it. Atherinos also over the dead ball. With maybe the final kick of the night. Atherinos blocked by the wall. There's time enough to take the corner. A corner which Alexander will go over to take. John Hall is back. Martinovic is back. All the rest in blue in and around the penalty area. Sent in high towards Athieu. And that'll be it. A quite crazy end to this game, really. A game that ended like it started, really, with absolute chaos. The opening goal going to Will Bauer, who puts his side in front as Dandenong City were then on course for their first ever league win over Oakleigh. They were pegged back later in the first half by Alex Salmon. And that is how the game ended. There were late shots for a penalty for tonight's host, but the foul occurring just outside the penalty area. There were words to be had and blows to be shared between players of both sides. Yellow cards aplenty in the last couple of minutes. That meant that a lot of paperwork had to be done by the man in the middle, Ross Clark. And at the end of it all, both of the sides could not be separated. It ends here at Frank Holohan Soccer Complex. Dandenong City 1, Oakleigh 1. And so that means that both sides have played their last 3 league games and are unbeaten from those 3 games. Of course, last week's game for Oakleigh against Altona was abandoned after an injury to Aaron O'Driscoll. So they have now played 3, drawn 2, won 1. And for Dandenong City, it's 2 wins and a draw from their last 3 after an opening weekend defeat at the hands of Avondale. An enthralling clash that shows really what the NPL Men's Victoria competition is all about. And the Dandenong City fans applaud the players that they so appreciate and adore as they make their way down the tunnel. We will bid you farewell from myself, Oliver Walker-Peel, and from the rest of the crew here at Frank Holohan. Take care, stay safe, enjoy your weekend, and bye for now.